Hello, all subscribers and friends. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode from the Board Game Man. This episode is a 3D board game. So if you're into 3D games, then this might be up your alley. This game was made back in 2000. It's by Ravensburger, which is one of my favorite board game companies. And I actually found this copy sealed. So I haven't even opened it yet. And I wanted to open it in front of you guys. That way we can all see it at the same time. Hopefully you haven't heard of this game. I haven't even heard of this game. I just came across it on eBay by mistake, just typing in Ravensburger games, and this one came up. I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. It is called Skyrunner. In this game, you are a cat burglar climbing up the building, and it's first person to get to the top of the building wins the game. So let's head on over to the gamers table, and let's start climbing. Okay, here we are at the gamers table, and let's go ahead and open up this game for the very first time. We're going to open this up. I haven't even seen what's inside yet, so I thought this would be really cool to check this out. Let's take the wrapping off. I feel like it's Christmas time. Woohoo! Okay, here we go. Okay, we took that off. And now, let's open her up. Okay, here we go. We're going to lift off the top, and ooh, look at these. How cool is this? So these are the bases, it looks like, to the building. You got the biggest, the medium size, and the small size. So put these over here in the box. You also have the good old instruction booklet. Oh, that's cool. So it looks like it's in different languages as well. Let's hope English is in there, because otherwise I'd be in trouble. Actually, you have all sorts of different languages in here. So, very, very cool. Yay, there's English. Woohoo! All right, thank goodness for that. So there's the instruction booklet. Then you have the building. How cool is this? So you got the sides of the building. And depending on how many players you have in the game, depends on, you got to keep track of all the dots. So if you have, it's a 2 to 5 player game. So, oh wow, this is really cool. You got pieces of the building that wrap around in a triangle fashion, just like a normal building one. Then you have the, oh, there's these, the cat, oh, these are really cool. I'm going to show these up close so you can see them. Here are the cat burglars. They're little guys that are up against the wall. Look at that. That's cool. So there's 5 different colors to choose from here. And those are the little cat burglars. And you can see that they have little knobs on the back here. See little things there. And what they do is they hook into the, they hook into the holes that are in the building. And so on. Then you have the cards that are in here. And I'll show you about what these are all about. Let me go ahead and open these up so I can kind of show you what these are about. Okay, let's open these up. All this for the very first time in 20 years. I can't imagine this thing was sealed for 20 years. Hasn't seen the light of day. Well, these cards are awfully small. So you have the movement cards, and then you have the bidding cards, which I will go over. Yeah, this is so cool. These are really neat. You see on the bottom, which is really cool. Let me take these out. You can see here's the base of the building. And look what they did on the bottom of the... They make it look like it's a street. So you can see the little cars down here. In fact, does this come out? Yeah, let's take this out. What? So it's like a plastic bottom here. You see, you put it right in there, and you can see there, you got the cars, and you got little rock formations here, and little thing. There's the little cars and trucks. So it looks like a city down below. How cool is that? All right. So let me go ahead and get this all situated, and then, yeah, we'll get going with, at least you got to see all the components firsthand. You got the base, then you got the parts of the building here. You have this is the movement cards. All sorts of good stuff. You got the bidding cards, which I'll go over. And then you got the 5 cat burglars, which are right here, which I probably don't want to put back in there. The instruction booklet, and then the 3 bases to each one of the levels that are on the building. How very cool. I can't wait to get this going. All right, I will be right back with you. Okay, here we go. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put the base inside the bottom of the box just to keep it sturdy, which makes sense. So you're going to go ahead and put this in like so. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you can see the buildings have three different sizes. You can see these is larger, and then it gets a little smaller, and then it gets a little smaller. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the bigger part, which is obviously going to be the bottom part of the game. Now it's going to depend on how many players you have in the game, is how many rows of dots you're going to have. So if you have a 2 or 3 player game, obviously you're going to use this because you can see the 3 rows of dots. If you have a 4 player game, then what you'll do is you can have the row of 4. If you have a 5 player, you have 5. So it all depends. We're going to go ahead, we'll do a 4 player game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have the 4 facing the camera here. And all you're going to do is you're going to slide this into the grooves, like so. And then you'll put this back here. And you want to make sure you're putting it in the right way because you'll see the windows. See the windows of the people inside the rooms? So you don't want those to be upside down. So that way you'll know which side to put up and which side to put down, okay? All right, which is kind of cool. I like that. It's kind of cute. So we're going to put this like this, okay? And then they're going to be just like that. They're going to form a triangle, okay? Then you're going to get the biggest base, and you're going to put that on top like so. It should slide right in there. Boom, there we go. Just like that. Okay, now we got the bottom ledge done. Now what you're going to do, since it's a 4-player game, what you want to do is you want to take the next level, and you want to put the 3 on top. So it's going to go less and less as the higher you go up, okay? Let's go ahead and bring this up a little higher. That way we can see me start to build this thing. Here we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 3, and you can see it has 4, and it has 3, and the other side has 2. So just depending on how many players you have. So let's go ahead and put this, slide this right into the groove, just like so. Okay. There we go. Helps to get a little straight. There we go. There we go. Boy, you have to get it just right, I tell you. There we go. Okay. Just gonna put that in there just like that. There we go. Boy, it's really, really picky. You got to get it right in there, just perfect. Okay, so now we have the second story up. And now we've got the second biggest base that goes right in there. At least the bases are easy to put on. Okay, then we're going to have the 2 right there. Here we go. So you can see it gets a little smaller. Going to put this right in there, like so. All right. That was much easier to put in. Let me go ahead and go a little higher here. There we go. And then you'll finally put the last base on the top. And there you have it. There she is. Let's go ahead and give you a closer look. And there it is. That's pretty cool. There is the building. All built up. Look at that. That is pretty darn cool. So you get yourself a 3-story building. So I might actually have to go back a little bit. That way you can see the whole thing. So there is your 3-story building. That is really awesome. It's the first time I put that together. So you got to make sure you have the side that you want to play on first right in the front. There we go. I mean, you can actually see a little better now. There we go. Put this a little over this way. That way you don't see me. Who cares? Who wants to see me, right? No one wants to see me. Let's move this back a little farther. And let's bring this up a little bit. That way we can see the whole building. There we go. And there we are. There is the 3-story building. Yeah. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to do a 4-player game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play with these 4. I'll just grab these 4. We've got purple, black, yellow, and green. So what you're going to do is you're going to put these on the very bottom. Okay? So now they're going to go on the very bottom of the building. Like so. There we go. So you can see they go right on the bottom. Okay. Now let me go ahead and show you. Bring you up a lot closer here. Okay, let's go back to here. Sorry, a lot of moving around. Not used to a very tall game here. Okay, now these are called, let me go ahead and show you what these cards do. There's a couple different sets of cards in here. Okay, these are the number cards. Now these are the ones you're going to be these are the ones you're kind of bidding for the top card when it comes up, and I'll show you how that works. You're going to have 1 through 8 for each colored person that you are. So you can see we have 1 through 8 for the black, 1 through 8 for the red player, 1 through 8 for the purple player, then you have 1 through 8 for the yellow player, and then 1 through 8 for the green player. So you have them all in color codes. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and, I said all but the red. So we'll take the red out, put this over here, and each player will hold on to their 1 through 8 cards. Okay, these are going to be like their bidding cards. Okay, so put these face down in front of us here. And then let me go over these cards. These is a whole separate deck here. Now this part is pretty easy. The first set of cards you're going to see here are the climbing cards. So obviously this allows you to climb 2 spots, 3 spots, 4 spots, and 5 spots. Okay. Then you also have, let me put this face up so I remember what these are. These are the equipment cards. And you can see there's a bunch of equipment on there and whatnot. And this allows you to do 2 different things. This allows you to go from the top of this side of the building, go up and over the ledge to the next deck. Okay, to the next level. If you do not have an equipment card, you cannot pass over this ledge to go on to the next level. You must have an equipment card in order to use it. Or you can use it to bypass another player. So say a player is right here. Let's say, it's right here, and you're coming up on this player. You could use an equipment card, and then you can use, in this case, you'd have to use going up 4. That way you can completely go up and over the player. So what you have to do is you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to completely go over the player in order. So you have to use the equipment and a 4 if you're going to go completely up and over the player. You cannot use a 3 or a 2 because if you can't fully get over that player, you cannot use it. So that's one thing that you can use the equipment card for as well. So it's either clearing a ledge to go up to the next player, or if you have another player in your area, you can use the equipment card to go up and over, or you can go left. You can move over and go this way. You can also do that as well. That's what you can do. The only thing you can't do is obviously you can't go diagonally and can't go back down. You can go sideways and up, and that is it. That's the only movement you can move. So that's what the equipment cards do for you. There's a few of these. Let me go through these. Then you have the lost equipment cards. There's only 2 of these in the deck. And what happens with these is if a player ends up getting one of these cards, they can play the card and take another player's equipment card. Ooh, that could be detrimental. It could be very big, especially if you're right before a ledge. A player can use this card and take the equipment card from you. You won't be able to get up to the next ledge unless you have another equipment card. There's only 2 of those, so luckily there won't be too much hard done, but there is 2 in the deck there, so we gotta be cautious of that. You also have the crash cards, of course. This is where you can play them on another player. They either have to go down 2 or 3 spots. Okay, so you got 1 of each of these. These are the crash cards. You can see him going, ah! Okay. Then you have the Sabotage Cards. And you can see the difference on these is see the way he's cutting the line. So that's a Sabotage card. And there's a few of these. There's 4 of these in the deck. And what you do is if a Sabotage card is played, one of the players has to move back 3 spaces. Obviously, it says 3 on there. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then you have these Parasite cards. Each player gets one corresponding to their color. And this is added to their bidding cards. So you get the 1 through 8. And this is also included in your deck. If a player is playing the Parasite card, he will want as many as the other players as possible to have played a climbing card. So this is when you're bidding. Okay? If you play your Parasite card, if one or more of the climbing cards has or have been played during this round, the player using the Parasite card is given these used cards and can use them in his or her next turn. So you're actually taking away any climbing cards that are played that round. Now you only get 1 per your deck there, so you want to see if you can play that at the right time. But the thing is, if a parasite is used, then and another person uses the parasite card at the same time, these two will wash out, and you're not able to. And then these cancel each other out, and then you just kind of wasted your sabotage card. So that's kind of what these other cards are here. Each player adds it to their stack. So this is black, so you give black theirs. Here's black, okay. Then we have yellow, okay. Then we have purple, and then this must be green stack. Okay, so we'll put the red parasite card away. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and show how we do this. So I'll play the 4 players. Okay. And all these, now let's see. Each player starts off with their 1 through 8 and a parasite card. And also, so each player starts with a figure, a set of cards in the color his or hers from 1 to 8. You also get a parasite card. You get 2 climbing cards with a value of 3 and 4. So each player will receive a card 2 and 3. Okay. And then these rest go into the deck. Okay. And each person will also receive 2 climbing cards. Oh, that's what I just said. And then 1 equipment card. So 1 equipment card each. Like so. And then the rest of these cards go into the deck here. This all goes in here. This all goes in here. And then these all get shuffled up. So these will get shuffled. And this is called the main deck. Okay. This is when you flip over the top card and then you start bidding on that card, whoever wants that card. Okay. So we'll go ahead and shuffle these up. Well, I don't know how good I'm going to shuffle these, but hey. It's not like I can put this in the card shuffler. They're a little too small for the card shuffler. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's get going with the game. So here we go. So we got all 4 players ready to rock and roll. Here is the main card. It's going to go in front of the first player. So the first player is going to show, the main card is going to show a Sabotage card. Okay, so you have the Sabotage card that shows up. So now each player is going to go, how much do they want to try to bid on trying to get that Sabotage card? So what you're going to do is each player is going to go ahead and they're going to figure out, okay, what do I want to do for this? Let's see. But this one. What you do is as soon as you choose whatever card you want to use, you're going to put it face down in front of you. And so this player will do this. Yellow's going to choose theirs. And then you got purple's going to say, well, let's see, I want to do this. And then green's going to look at theirs and say, okay, I want to do this. Okay. So now all 4 players have put their cards face down in front of them. Now each player will simultaneously turn over their card. Okay. So you got black chose a 5. Okay. Then you have the yellow player who also chose a 5. So these 2 will cancel themselves out. Okay. Then you have, can't pick up these up. Purple has a 3 and green has a 1. So purple is going to win this card and they're going to put it in their deck. So now they have a Sabotage card in their deck. Now what happens is this gets put in their deck and these get put into a discard pile on their own. So because once you go through all your 1 through 8 and your other cards, you get them back in your hand and then you reuse them again. Okay, so all these get put into discard piles over here like so. And then each player will go for the next card. The next card, let's see, let's show you here. Let's say it is a climb card, climbing 3. Okay, so now each player is going to go, okay, let's see, what do we want to do here? Now, if they want to, you don't necessarily have to bid on that card if you don't want to. You can play a climbing card in your deck if you want. Instead of to say, you know what, I don't want that card, I want to go ahead and just climb up. You can do that as well. So each player is going to go ahead and go and say, okay, I want to do, let's see, like this one. And each player is going to go ahead and bid once again, and so on. And the only thing you want to remember is if you go all in and try to go the highest number, someone might else do that. And if the 2 numbers are the same, they cancel each other out. So you got to be very careful about that. Okay, so now we're going for the climbing 3. So let's see what happens here. Black chose a 4. I can't pick these cards up. Yellow chooses an 8. purple 7 and green 6. So yellow is going to go ahead and grab this card. This is now a part of their deck, and these go into their discard piles, their personal discard piles. And then the next card will show up, which is another Sabotage card. So what's going to happen here is he's going to choose that. Let's say yellow's going to go with that. And then you got purple going here. And green going like so. Okay. So here we go. So now we're going to see who's going to try to get this Sabotage card. So we got this. He decides... who is this? Black decides he wants to climb 3. So black is going to go to the board and go 1, 2, and 3. He climbs up 3 spots on the board. You can see up nice and close here. You can see he has gone up 3 spaces on the building. Okay, there you go. And then let's see. Yellow chose to do a 3, 5, and 5. These two cancel each other out. So yellow would end up getting this Sabotage card. And then these will go into their person. Now this would go back into the main stack. So this goes back into the main stack. This is a discard pile for the main stack. Okay. Only the only ones you keep are your numbered bids ones. Those are the only cards you keep in your personal deck. Okay. And that's what you do. You keep. You go on to the next card. You're going to bid on the next one. Obviously, I didn't shuffle these very well. Let's just say this is a 2, and then everyone's going to bid on it. And if they chose to climb, they can. And you climb up the wall. And then, of course, as soon as you get up to here, this is when you have to utilize your equipment cards. You want to put that up there. And let's say people want to, try to do whatever they got to do so they can either bid on this, or they can decide to climb or sabotage another player and give another player. So if, say for instance, I think this is the player that has the sabotage, they can play this. And then we'll say, this, and then this. Okay. Then what will happen is black plays an equipment card. All right. So what he's able to do is he has to play a number along with it. So he has to do a climbing card as well. And he's going to play 2. Okay. So what he's going to do is he uses the equipment card to go up and over the ledge and go 1, 2. And that's how you get to the second floor. Okay. And then you have all these other cards that they're bidding on these climbing the 2. And of course, he plays a Sabotage card. He's going to go ahead and give it to a player if he wants to. That knocks it back down to 3 spaces. This player will win the climbing 2, and so on. And so that's what happens. Okay, now I want to bring up one quick rule. When it comes up to the face card, if it shows a crash card, this is the one the guy goes, this guy was crashing 2. Every player must play a number card. So when this is showing either the 2 or the 3, no one can play a parasite card or a climbing card or a sabotage card. Everyone must play a number card. But in this case, whoever has the lowest number will have to use this card immediately. So for instance, black goes 7, and then yellow goes 6, and purple goes 1, and then green goes 3, then purple would have to go ahead and use this card immediately. Now, since he's on the ground floor, he cannot drop the 2. So what happens is he has to give up a climbing card worth that value if he cannot go down 2. Okay? So in this case, since he has a -2, he's going to have to look and see if he has, he does have a climbing 2. So he would have to give this up and put it in the discard pile for the main cards, or the main discard pile. So that's what happens if you cannot move down 2. Now, if say he did not have this card, say he goes through his deck and goes, oh man, I don't have anything that will, help. What will happen is he has to hang on to this card, okay, until he gets a climbing card that allows him to go 2 or more, and then he has to play that card immediately. So eventually, if he gets a +2, say he eventually gets this card, he plays it, he goes up 2, but then unfortunately he has to turn around and play this card immediately, and he'll go back down, and he'll lose that value. Now, the same thing happens here. Say, 7, 6, 1, and 3, but say he put a 3 as well. Okay, these two still cancel out, and then the next lowest card, which would be 6 on yellow, would get hit with the crash card. Okay, so that's kind of important when you get when you get two the same. These will always cancel themselves out, and then you go to the next lowest. In this case, would be yellow at 6. And that's what you do throughout the game. All you have to remember is you have to get equipment to go up and over the ledge until you get up to the 3rd level. And then once you get up to the 3rd level, the first person now you have to use an equipment to go from here up to the top as well. So you got to have at least 3 equipment cards. You start off with 1. So at least in the game you might have to get 2 more, but like I said, there's times when people can, try to get the lost equipment and take an equipment card from you. So that you want to keep in mind as well. So that's how you play the game. You bid for cards, you keep them in your stack, and then you play them along the way. And it's also pretty awesome when you start off with 4, then it goes to 3, then it goes to 2, and then it gets pretty brutal because then sometimes you can't move because other players are in your way. So, and there's a way you can kind of go around them or use your equipment to go up and over them. And it's a pretty cool game. So I like these little cat burglar guys. These are actually pretty cool. It goes in the holes really nicely. And, the holes are in there pretty good, so you're not struggling to get them in and out of there. So it's pretty cool. So, but anyhow, that's pretty much the game. And like I said, as soon as you go through your player cards, you're going to pick them back up, and then you're going to replay them again. And there, my friends, is Skyrunner.